this is Wargamer Shawn. I'm here to bring you part 3 of the Genestealer Cults. We're going to go on to troops. We have 2 for Genestealer Cults. We have the Acolyte Hybrids, which are 40 points base. They come with 5 members in the squad. Their infantry. Their weapon skill is 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 4, 2 attacks, leadership 8, and a 5+ save. They are equipped with an auto pistol, a close combat weapon, rending claws, and blasting charges. So they can go through cover and not suffer the penalty for charging through cover. And they have 3 close combat weapons, so you're actually going to have 3 base attacks, 4 on the charge. They have Cult, Ambush, and Return to the Shadows. You can include up to 15 additional Acolyte Hybrids for 8 points apiece. So the 8 points is not bad. I mean, they just got an auto pistol for shooting, but they have Rending Claws. They're Strength 4. For a troops choice, not bad point-wise. I mean, 40 points, not bad at all. You can replace the auto pistol with a Hand Flamer for 5 points. Strength 3 Flamer is not bad, and any model can do this, so you could have all 5 with Hand Flamer, which, once again, isn't bad. For every 5 models in the unit, 2 Acolyte Hybrids may replace their close combat weapons and Rending Claws with one of the following. Demolition Charge for 20 points, Heavy Rock Drill for 20, Heavy Rock Cutter for 25, Heavy Rock Saw for 25 points. 1 Acolyte Hybrid may take a Cult Icon for 10 points. The Cult Icon increases the weapon skill by 1, which is good. I think that's what the Cult Icon does. I just want to let me make sure I'm not lying here. Yeah, weapon skill by 1. You may upgrade 1 to an Acolyte Leader for 10 points. The Icon is 10 points. The Acolyte Leader may take replace his close combat weapon with a Bone Sword for 20 points. And Acolyte Leader may replace his close combat weapon, auto pistol, and with a lash whip and Bone Sword. So you keep the Rending Claws, and you lose your close combat weapon. You may take a Goliath truck as a designated transport. So let's look at the Rock Saw and Heavy Rock Cutter and Drill and stuff like that. Heavy Rock Cutter is Strength ×2, AP 2, Melee Snip, 2-handed, unwieldy. Heavy Rock Drill is ×2 Strength, AP 2, 2-handed, unwieldy, Pulverize. And then Heavy Rock Saw is ×2 Strength, Melee Armor Bane, 2-handed, unwieldy. So they're all unwieldy. One has Armor Bane, one is Pulverize. Let's go look at those rules quick. So Snip with a Heavy Rock Cutter, any model suffers 1 or more unsaved wounds, must pass a separate toughness test or be removed from play. It's pretty good. I mean, although most of the high toughness guys, unless they roll a 6, they're going to pass. So multi-wound models aren't as likely, but it's a chance, and it's the Heavy Rock Cutter is 25 points. Heavy Rock Drill, Pulverize. When making a Heavy Rock Drill attack, it can instead make 1 attack that has to roll a hit as normal, but is resolved at Strength 10, AP 1. Well, that's pretty good. And that's a Heavy Rock Drill. That's only 20 points, Strength ×2 unwieldy. Out of all of them, that one seems like the best buy because 20 points. I mean, they're base Strength 4, so they're going to be Strength 8, but still. Now the Heavy Rock Saw, Armor Bane, 2-handed, unwieldy. I mean, Armor Bane's good too, so it's a possibility. Demolition Charge is Strength 8, AP 2, 6-inch range, large blast, 1 use only. For 20 points, I don't know if it's worth getting rid of close combat weapon and Rending Claws. I mean, you're losing your Rending Claws for 1 throw, and they're not really, I don't know. I mean, I could see its use. I personally wouldn't probably use it because I see their role as something different. I see them as close combat guys. It's almost like, I mean, I'm an orc player too, so I'm gonna, you know, liken it to orcs. But it's almost like getting your boys and sticking a knob in there, you know. And for every 5 models, you can have 2. So technically, a squad of 5 could have 2, basically like power claws. And I'd honestly probably use the heavy rock drill because it's 5 points cheaper. And the pulverize, you can make a strength 10 AP 1 attack. So that way, if I wanted to, if I was hitting a vehicle and they wouldn't have the armor bane, but strength 10 is pretty good, you know, and so I still have a chance of hurting like a Land Raider, armor 14, or super heavy. So that's my opinion on that. The Acolyte taking a Lash Whip and Bone Sword, I mean, they're good. AP 3, life drain, so on a 6 it's instant death. But for 25 points, I mean, for a 1 wound model, I don't know. I want something with a little bit more punch, so honestly, I'd probably just, you know, let him take the challenges and not give him anything, and then my my 2 heavy rock drills, which are like power fists, are going to be buried in there that can't be singled out. You know, not the worst thing. And if he really wanted to fight in a challenge, let him use his rending claws. The Acolyte leader does come with 1 extra attack, so he'd have 4 on the charge, which would be another reason to keep the close combat weapons too, because then he'd have 5 on the charge. I mean, that's hefty. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could argue for the 25 points for Lash Whip and Bone Sword, just for something that, you know, is a sergeant. I just don't see the worth of putting the points into it. My opinion. Next is the Neophyte Hybrids. Now, I just love these guys, and there's a couple reasons, but I'll tell you why. First is how many you get for their points. 50 points, and you get 10 of them. I mean, that's like a cultist, you know. They're weapon skill 3, bullet skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 4, attacks 1, leadership 8, 5 up save. They have an auto gun, and I think, well, I guess you have to pay for the leader. The leader, if you pay for him, has an extra attack, and he's leadership 9. So it may be worth it because, well, he's 10 points, but still an extra leadership isn't bad. He comes with an auto pistol close combat weapon, so he's basically got 3 attacks instead of the base 2 because he's got 2 close combat weapons. They have blasting charges, so they can basically charge and not suffer the penalty. They have Cult Ambush, Return to the Shadows. You can take up to 10 additional hybrids for 5 points a model, so for 100 points you got 20 guys. It's pretty amazing. And think about it, auto guns, and that's nothing. And that's a big deal for shooting. They're strength 3, but still. Now you can any model can replace their auto gun with a shotgun or las gun. Shotguns potentially. I think the only reason they put the las gun in there is, like myself, I plan on using or kind of taking some of my IG guys, Astra Militarum guys, and incorporate them into this army, and so they probably did that so you could just use the regular, you know, Acadian troops if you wanted to. Shotguns aren't a bad choice either, and shotguns can be good. Although, let me see if they give any different shot, or if they're just a straight. Let's see. Strength 3, Assault 2. I mean, so they don't give you an option for having different shots, but it's Assault 2, so theoretically, you know, you could shoot and charge instead of like being rapid fire. I mean, it's shorter range though too, but so it's up to you. I mean, I could see the use, and I probably won't use it too much. At least a shotgun. One Neophyte Hybrid may take a Cult Icon for 10 points. Something to think about if you're running a large group of guys, especially if you're going to put an HQ in there, maybe even a Magus, and try to keep them alive so they don't get run down. Having 1 more weapon skill is good, because then they're weapon skill 4. They're going to match most of your, you know, more solid things that you're going to fight against. So, something to think about. 2 Neophyte Hybrids may take a special weapon, and the unit may do the following. You can take 2 Neophytes that can take heavy mining weapons, or 2 Neophyte Hybrids may form a Neophyte weapon team that must take a heavy weapon. So it's kind of like Imperial Guard. They basically form a 2-man unit that has either a mortar, autocannon, heavy bolter, or missile launcher with frag and crack. You can pay for 15 points, or you can pay 10 points for flak missiles, or you can take a las cannon for 25. Otherwise, the mining weapons are heavy stubber, mining laser, or seismic cannon. Now, mining laser is good. It's not a super long range, but you know, mining lasers are strength 9 AP2, 24-inch range. Seismic cannon is 0 to 12 inch is 8, strength 8 AP3, heavy 2 resonance. 12 to 24 is strength 5 AP4, heavy 4 resonance. The problem is they're heavy weapons, and a lot of times these guys are kind of coming out of reserve, you know, through shadows and stuff like that. And so, plus it needs to be close to use it because it's only 12 to 24-inch range, or 0 to 24-inch range. So and it's heavy, so then you're snap firing. Unless you're relentless, which is possible depending on if you get lucky with a roll on the warlord trait or you know, stuff like that. It's possible. I could kind of see its use. I don't see its use too often. Honestly, I think the mining lasers are probably the way to go, to be honest. And then special weapons. They have a list of special weapons which are kind of cool. They brought into it the Weber again, which isn't terrible. That's 5 points. Otherwise, a grenade launcher or a flamer for 5 points. Flamers are good. Grenade launcher, let's see. Do they give it crack and frag? They do. So it's like the IG. So frag and crack is strength 3 AP6 or strength 6 AP4, assault 1, or the frag is blast. You know, honestly, depending on how you're running it, if you want them to be shooty, I think the grenade launcher is really good on these guys. Otherwise, I think the flamer is good too if you want to get close. I think they're both good. The Weber's good, and it's kind of a new weapon. It's something. Well, it's not. Back in Rogue Trader in 2nd edition, it existed. Then it ceased to exist after 3rd. Everybody used to have access to it. It used to be deadlier. We talked about it in the first video. For the points, I don't know. It potentially has its uses. I don't know if I'd do it personally, but there's nothing wrong with doing it. They can take a Goliath truck or a Chimera as a designated transport, which is pretty cool. Chimeras are good front armor. I think, and with a multi-laser and a heavy bolter in front, they're not bad. That's the 2 troops choices that are available to them, and like I said, they can take designated transports, so potentially the Goliath truck and the Chimera can be designated transports. Otherwise, like all the new codexes in 7th edition, they can be fast attack choices too. I'm going to go ahead and do the elites. I think we have time. There's 2 elites, or no, sorry, 3 elites. Apologize, they added 1. The hybrid metamorphs are the new one. They're 45 points for 5 of them, and they're weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 4, attacks 2, leadership 8, and a 5+ initiative or 5+ save. The leader, if you upgrade him and he has 10 points, he has an extra attack and he has leadership of boost of 9. They have auto pistols, rending claws, metamorph talon, and blasting charges. So, you know, once again, they're kind of good, kind of close combat-y. And they're going to have a base of 3 attacks because they have 3 close combat weapons. The rending claws are good, although the kind of morph talons that they have, let's go through those quick. The metamorph weapons, the metamorph claw is the strength of the user, so strength 4. AP5 melee crush. The claw has +2 bonus strength during the fight subphase, so basically you become strength 6. Not bad. Metamorph talon is melee and scythe. So the model equipped with the metamorph talon has a +1 bonus to its weapon skill and during the fight subphase, and a model equipped with 2 metamorph talons has +2 to the weapon skill in the fight subphase. It says they just have 1 metamorph talon, so unless there's something I'm missing, I don't see how they can have +2. But anyway, the lash model equipped with the Metamorph. Metamorph Whip. Sorry, is strength to user, AP 5, lash, and melee. The lash has +3 to initiative in the fight subphase, so just like the lash whip, basically. Yeah, and you can choose each fight subphase to use any of these, with them if you want to. I think the strength bonus one's pretty good. Potentially to the weapon skill too, depending on what you're fighting. I don't know what the 2+ bonus is because I don't know of anything in this army that gets it unless there's some special war gear. So you can get up to 5 more for 9 points a model. Not bad cost wise. They can replace their do one of the following. They replace their Rending Claws with Metamorph Talent. Oh, sorry, if I would have actually read. So they can get rid of the Rending Claws for another Metamorph Talon. So that's where they can get the +2 to weapon skill. They can replace a Metamorph Talon with a Metamorph Claw. Or they can replace a Metamorph Talon with a Metamorph Whip. And those are 2 points each when you do that. Oh, so I apologize. I thought they could, since being morph, they could choose. It actually isn't true. They have to use whichever one they have. So I was absolutely wrong there. The Claw is what comes with it, which is +2 bonus to strength. But they have to pay 2 points for the Talon or the Whip. I mean, I guess potentially I could see paying 2 points for the Metamorph. No, I don't. I'll look up with. Oh, I guess. Sorry. Jeez, if I could read. I'm sorry. It comes with a Metamorph Talon, which is what increases the weapon skill by +1. If it wants to have 2, which it can do that for free, but it loses its Rending Claws. If it wants the Metamorph Claw, which increases its strength by 2, it costs 2 points. And the Metamorph Whip costs 2 points, and that increases your initiative. Their initiative 4, I mean, I guess I could see for initiative, but honestly, I don't think I'd pay the 2 points for that. Potentially the Claw for the strength. But it doesn't say they have to use them. It just says they're equipped with the Talon. So my guess is you could use the Rending Claws and still have your weapon skill up by 1 with just the 1 Talon. So I'd probably just leave them as is, to be honest. The Metamorph Leader is 10 points. The Metamorph Leader can take a Bone Sword for 20 points. Any model can replace its Auto Pistol with a Hand Flamer for 5 points. One Hybrid Metamorph can take a Cult Icon for 10 points, and they can take a Goliath Truck as a designated transport. I don't think the 20 points is really worth it for the Bone Sword, just to give you AP 3 and a 6 instant death. Once again, it's a 1-wound model. You're paying 20 points. That's more than twice what the mod. Well, sorry. I guess you pay 9 points and then 10-point upgrade, so he's 19 points. So you're paying 1 more point, so double his points +1, just to give him an AP 3 weapon. I just don't think it's worth it, in my opinion. Anyway, that's the Metamorphs. How many times can you say Metamorph in like a span of a few minutes? The next one is Pure Strain Genestealers. These guys get better this time, and GW really needed to. Although I wish they would have helped the Patriarch, but beggars can't be choosers. The Pure Strain Genestealers are 5 for 70 points, weapon skill 6, blow skill 0, strength toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 6, which is amazing, attacks 3, leadership 10, and 5+ save. They have Rending Claws. Only a Patriarch can join this unit. While the Patriarch is joined to the unit, the Pure Strain Genestealers gain Furious Charge. That's good. Pure Strain Genestealers have Hyper Reflexes, which is a 5+ invuln save. So their 5-up doesn't really matter, but the 5-up invuln save is nice. It's like Harlequin. I mean, it's something, honestly. They need it, otherwise Flamers just killed them, and, So they have Rending Claws, Cult Ambush, Fleet, Infiltrate, Move Through Cover, Return to the Shadows, and Stealth. So they come base with Stealth. You can take up to 15 Genestealers for 14 points a model. I still think they're a little pricey for what you get. Any model can take Scything Talons for 3 points a model. So you can give them another close combat attack because you give them Scything Talons, so they could have base 4 attacks. I could maybe see this depending if you're running the formation, and we might as well cover it right now. There's a formation with the Patriarch and the Genestealers. It may be worth it because an extra attack for this kind of beefy unit may be worth it. The first curse is the HQ formation we talked about in the first video. It's 1 Patriarch and a unit of Genestealers. The Genestealers must contain 20 models, so you're putting a lot of points because that's 20 dudes you gotta have in there. Before the start of the game, roll a dice and apply the following results to the first curse's Pierce Jane Genestealers for the duration of the game. 1, they have flesh hooks. The unit don't suffer penalties for charging through terrain, although they don't get the shooting attack that Tyranids get with flesh hooks. Hardened Carapace, they get a 4-up armor save. Toxin Glands is 3. Its melee has poisoned. Adrenal Sacs, they have Rage, which is different. That was Furious Charge for Tyranids. The unit has Preferred Enemy, number 5. And 6, Perfect Killing Machine, you can choose a result that you want to apply. I suppose the reason they change Adrenal Sacs is that if they're with the Patriarch, they already have Furious Charge. So it's a decent unit, although you're paying 70 points plus, 140. So you're paying 280 points for that 20 unit Genestealer, and then plus the Patriarch. That's pretty expensive. If you lose that, that's a big chunk for a cheap, relatively otherwise cheap army. So they don't get any transports or anything, and specifically says, I think, that they can't ride Chimeras. They might be able to get into Goliaths. They can't get into Goliaths. They can get into Chimeras, but they can't fire its lasgun arrays. Unless they have no ballistic skill. Aberrants is the next elite choice. They're 120 points for 4. Weapon skill 4. Ballistic skill 1. Why they gave them 1, I don't know. They don't have a gun. Strength 5. Toughness 4. And then wounds 2. Initiative 2. Attacks 2. Leadership 8. 5-up save. So they're pretty low initiative. They have a power pick and rending claws. So they got 2 close combat weapons, so they have 3 base attacks. They may take up the 4 additional aberrants for 30 points a model. Jesus, 30 points a model. I mean, they're cool models, but 30 points for each model, which is a 5-up save and toughness 4. GW, what in the hell are you thinking? Honestly, they're cool models, but excuse my French, it's effing terrible. They have Stubborn, whoop-de-doo, and they have Feel No Pain, that's something. Return to the Shadows and Cult Ambush. I think they're cool, and when you had to take the formation before they actually got a Codex, you didn't really have a choice, you had to take them, so I did use them, and they were useful, but I think there's more useful things in this Codex than using up an elite slot for these guys. Honestly, they're too expensive. 30 points is way too much. I mean, they're more than double a Genestealer. Why? I mean, they can replace their power pick with the power hammer, so it gives them a stronger thing, although the power hammer, I believe, is unwieldy. Let me just check. Power hammer is +3 strength, AP2, melee concusses, specialist weapon, so they don't get their bonus for close combat weapons because it's a specialist weapon. It's two-handed and unwieldy, so they don't even get so they only get 2 attacks. The power pick is unwieldy, AP3, +2 strength. Honestly, you're better off just keeping those because, yes, there's +3 strength, which is strength 8, AP2, but it's going initiative 1, and you only have the 2 attacks versus the 3 that you would have with the other one. I don't know. These guys just look really bad all around. I hope GW isn't planning on selling any of them. Yeah, so that's the elite section. We'll stop here, and we'll come pick up next time at the fast attack. And there's actually, let's see, there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 fast attack choices, and 2 heavy. I might just do those all in one, and then in the next video after, just do the formations and final thoughts. So until next time, keep on wargaming and take care.
Goodbye, you sexy motherfucker.